Hi. Hi, everyone. I've been so excited to be back in Calgary where I usually do my lives. And I'm here today. We are going to be doing a career tarot reading. But before I get into anything, my name is April Kelly. I am a tarot advisor. And as I said earlier, I am working out of Calgary, where my family and I moved about months ago. So I'm excited for my reading today. And today, just to kind of change things up, I'm going to be using the Urban Tarot deck for the. Now, I always kind of call these like mock tarot readings because they're not actually for anyone in particular. So, but I still do receive, and I still I know my tarot deck really well and whatnot. So you'll see. For those of you are first time visitors here, I've made about I think it's like close to 20 videos. I have to go check that out already, and I've looked at depth of what the tarot deck is and whatnot, what the role of the tarot reader is as well, and what your role as the client for the tarot reader is as well, and so much more. So if you'd like, I also have a promotion that I just put out today. It's not really a promotion, it's more of a draw. And I'm going to be drawing a free 1-hour tarot reading on June 6th. So that's in a little less than 2 weeks. So for all of my YouTube subscribers. So yeah, if you like and appreciate my content, please like and subscribe to my channel, and you will have a chance to win a 1-hour free tarot reading. And I do my tarot readings on Zoom. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to jump right in. Once again, using the Urban Tarot deck. All right, so let's mix her up a little bit. I always do it a little bit ahead of time, but I prefer doing it, a little bit more organically when I do it, with you guys, and just to kind of break it in and make it a little bit more authentic in the moment. All right. So I'm going to draw 4 cards today. All right, here we go. Card number 1. And I always, for those of you that have been watching me, I always mix my cards in between every draw. Number 2. And as you get used to the way I do my tarot readings, you'll see I have a few routines and rituals as I do my tarot readings and drawing my tarot cards. All right. Number 3 and one more. This one's going to be good. I'm like curious, wanting to peek. All right, so there goes the tarot deck, and let's look at these cards. So first card and last card of a tarot deck is something I haven't really looked at with you, but it's the opening and the closing of the reading. And it usually has something to do with the beginning, not the ending of necessarily of your journey, but sometimes it does. But definitely for the first card, it has something to do with the beginning of your journey. So let's do this one. Ooh, the Empress. Ooh, okay. So major arcana right off the bat. And those of you that are not familiar with minor arcana, major arcana in the tarot deck, I won't get into it today. But if you go and search in my YouTube videos, I have a video for each. All right. So the Empress. Now, as you can tell, the Empress is very nurturing, very, you can see there's empathy and there's kindness and there's openness in her, which is really beautiful. So I feel that can be a few things. Now, remember, we're talking about career or Yeah, just career in general. It can be studies because, career is studies. So what this can be also is sometimes we study things because either our parents expect it of us or someone else expects it of us. And when you stop and look inwards and you think about, okay, let's say for me, April, right? What does April want? What, am I really being nurturing and taking care of myself like I would my friends and family? Am I really considering what it is I want? So that's one of the ways I can interpret, right? The card. Another way is um, so the Empress is, she comes off nurturing and caring and open um, and wise, but she has a strength about her. And what's beautiful about that strength is she knows what she wants and she knows what she doesn't want, but she needs to get in touch with that. Sometimes, so she, the card itself, she does know what she wants and doesn't want, but sometimes we need to figure that out for ourselves, right? Is this really the path that I want? Let's say you've started your studies or you've started a job, right? Or you're job hunting and you've got this job opportunity and it's not working out the way you thought it would be. Let's say the studies you've started and you're like, ugh, this is not for me. Or this job is just not working out. Or, this, I have this feeling, if it was for let's say the job hunt, I want this job so bad, but I feel like there's something telling you it's not for you. So just be careful because you need to truly, the Empress is very intuitive, but she really does, when she makes a decision, it's final and it's, she has that flexibility, but she's already gone through the thought process and is this really what I want and whatnot? And she makes a conscious decision. So I think that this is what the Empress kind of will represent. We need to think and we need to reflect. Is this truly, we need to look at the different angles without going too much into our head, because if we go too much into our head, we never get into the action or we never do action, right? We never move forward and make that decision. So yes, reflect, yes, contemplate, yes, think about it, but ultimately so that you can make that beautiful conscious choice. All right. So that's card number 1, starting beautifully. Card number 2. Ooh, cruelty. Okay, so this really comes, and it's coming strongly for me. So it's the Swords card, the 9 of Swords. Now, Swords is one of those. Swords is truly it's about career, it's about what we have, it's about our money, our physical possessions, right? The house, the car, you know everything we have in our homes and whatnot. And so but then you see, and this is what I like about this deck, it says cruelty. Okay, and it kind of gets to the heart of the card itself. Now, we're very, very good as human beings in general, both men and women, we're really good at being hard on ourselves. And dare I say, cruel with ourselves. We are the hardest on ourselves more than anyone else, okay, in general. Okay, now some of us have really worked on that. I'm speaking from experience. I'm trying to be more kind and patient and less judgmental of myself, because I've been very, very judgmental of myself and, what the hell did you do that? Or that was so stupid. And I think that this card can truly embody that. Not that we should be wanting that, but it's something that we're very familiar with, our vulnerable, fearful side, and we're used to dealing with it, right? We're used to being hard on ourselves and oh, no, this is how I'm going to get it done. And that was silly, or that was stupid, or, and let's not, I don't want to swear on screen, but we can be so much crueler than that with ourselves. Okay. And so I think this card can really, it can mean a few other things as well, though, not just with ourselves. It can be that, let's say career-wise, you're being mistreated, or in your studies, you're forcing yourself to, push, and you're not being patient, and you're not taking care of yourself the way you should and whatnot. And so this card can really, really represent a few, we can interpret it it in many different ways. All right. So card number 3. Ooh, the activist. Yes, the Princess of Swords. Now, this is interesting. Okay, so the activist. Now, this is a very evocative image. You see the woman here with her microphone here, and then you have, I forget what the name of that is. And, the signs and the papers, and you have that light around her. Very evocative. Now, this is an interesting card, especially when it comes to career or studies, because sometimes, let me think. I want to say this properly. When we get caught up in the emotion, sometimes we make decisions that are not the most rational. And this is, in general, it's part of being human. It's not a judgment. It shouldn't be a judgment either. We all have, strong emotions at one time or another, and it's part of our lives, right? We have stronger emotions and we have less strong emotions. And I have a feeling that this card, one of the ways it can be interpreted, is truly be careful. It can be a warning. Don't be, too rash. Don't, stand up for what you believe. Absolutely. Let's say someone is trying to pressure you into switching studies, or pressuring you at work, or you're job hunting, and whether it be parents or spouse or friends, or family member, they're pressuring you, no, do this, no, hooking you up, but it's not what you really want, right? So just be careful. Don't act in a moment of emotion, because unfortunately we end up regretting our actions sometimes. Most of the time, let's be honest, most of the time when we take emotional decisions, we end up regretting them. And so that's one of the ways we can interpret this card. Now, the other way is something a little bit of an opposite. Okay, another way to interpret it is stand up for what you believe. Stand up for what you're going for, whether it be studies or something at work. But once again, no strong emotions. You need to stay. Okay, don't become. Let me say it like this: do not become the emotion. Allow the emotion to move through you without it making the decisions for you. Don't, because you're experiencing the emotion and I did that, and oh shit, I didn't really want to do that. You know what I mean? So just allow the emotions to move through you without them taking control. And in that moment of emotion, you make a decision or do something that you didn't necessarily want to do. So I think I'm going to leave this one at that, because it really is, I feel they're like the polar opposite meaning. And once again, I kind of want to emphasize this too, about the cards. Each reading is unique. Each person I will receive for them from their guides and their people in the spirit world. Now, these are possible interpretations, right? But it doesn't mean that they're the only interpretations possible. I'm just giving you an idea of what can be, according also to what the card is. And by the way, just coming back to the Nine of Swords, this is right before the end of a journey too. And sometimes we get anxiety and we self-sabotage. when we're about to reach a goal because we're scared and there's fear involved. Just saying. All right, last card. This is the card I really felt strongly, the Painter. The Queen of Swords. Once again, swords. Wow. This is coming out, huh? And I don't know if you noticed, but in the Activist, there's a sword as well. So we've got swords going on today, you guys. So the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords is someone that's very, how can I say this? She thinks things through, and she'll take a calculated risk. But you see, there's the artist in her, and she looks in towards her intuition. So what can this mean career-wise? Well, it just means that you need to trust yourself. When there's a moment of fear, once again, don't become the emotion. Think, take a step back. If you need to close your eyes, take a deep, calming breath and allow yourself to trust what the no or the yes or the inner knowledge that you have and the inner wisdom you have. Trust it, and then make a decision on that feeling or on that intuition. Sorry, let's call it intuition. So on that intuitive prompting that you have inside, learn to trust that. Okay. And how does a work of art, okay, whether it be a painting, a dance routine, whatever the piece of art or the work of art is, or the expression of art, okay, it's very intuitive. We have to look into ourselves, right? And so I think that's one of the ways that we can interpret this card for career is if something feels off or you feel like something is not quite right, or on the contrary, if you feel something very, very strongly, trust your intuition. Okay, I don't mean emotion. Don't mix emotion and intuition, okay? Because a strong emotion is not an intuition. An intuition is that calm place, safe space inside of you where you have a knowing, okay? It's not in the strong moment of emotion that you're going to feel the intuition, okay? And if you, I don't want to say, okay, I don't want that to be decisive, but sometimes you can feel something very intuitive in your strong emotion moment, but usually those moments you've grown to trust your intuition, and you know when your intuition shows up, you're showing up, and you know how to trust that part of you already, which could be, right? I've learned, by no means am I perfect and have I mastered my intuition, but I'm very much more in touch with it, and I've embraced it. And I trust myself in a way like I've never trusted myself before. And so because I've nurtured that and I've built that inside of myself, I know that sometimes it is, rarely, but once in a while, I will feel my intuition in a high emotion moment. But once again, there's a process to getting there. Okay. And so I don't know why that came out so strongly, but I just felt like I had to share that. So trust yourself. Okay. The queen is very strongly who she is and knows who she is and knows who she isn't. And so I think this card really encourages that in each and every one of us. And I think the only other way I would say right now that's coming to me to interpret this card is to allow yourself to be who you are fully, powerfully, and love that part of who you, that version, not version. No, that's not the word I'm looking for. Love you for exactly who you are. I have someone that I love very much in my life that has been struggling with that. And so it speaks to me very strongly. Loving oneself, love yourself for who you truly are, and embrace the vulnerable, fearful sides, the sides that you're less, that you love less, that you don't love, that you don't not love, but that you love less, and become the love of your life. It really is that. I'm speaking from experience and from my own learning and my own journey. I'm the love of my life. And because of that, I've been, my relationships have deepened. I've been able to put stronger personal boundaries down. I've been able to say yes and no to the things that I know that I want and don't want in my life. Yeah. So that's feeling very inspired. That's another way we can interpret this card. So once again, swords, very, very appropriately for career and study today, because it's the suit of the minor arcana that is connected the most to our career and our finances and our everyday. Well, minor arcana is everyday life, but I mean in our physical, material possessions and whatnot. So thank you for joining me today. That will be all for the career reading and possible interpretations of the cards. If ever you have questions or you would like to find me on other social media, I have my Darkness and Light Tarot on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and here on YouTube. And on Facebook, you can find me under April Kelley, Kelley Kelley. But you can also find me under Darkness and Light Tarot on Facebook as well. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. And don't forget, for my draw on June 6th, for all of my YouTube subscribers, you will have a chance at winning a 1-hour live streaming tarot reading with me on Zoom. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.